Hello, everyone. Welcome to Self Love You. I'm so glad that you're here today. I have had some really great coaching sessions today with some really beautiful people across the United States today. It has been wonderful. And it just, really, this has nothing to do with what we talked about today, but I did want to do a video about the needling narcissist. And this is the needling narcissist. What does that mean? When a narcissist needles you, this is when you have someone in your life who starts asking you questions in a way that that may feel good at first because you have someone who's actually asking questions about you, and it makes you feel important and it makes you feel good. And you're like, oh my gosh, someone's paying attention to me. It's almost like a form of love bombing. It's the needling narcissist. Well, they begin to ask questions like, so what are you doing? Where are you going? How long did you do that? When did you do that? What did you eat? What did you drink? Where are you going? How are you going to get there? Just all these questions that actually make you feel like you're being seen, heard, and understood. However, at the end of the day, it ends up being the very weapon that they use against you, because the needling narcissist, a person who is a needler, who is a toxic person, is gathering data in order to use it against you later in manipulation. So my strategy for working or for engaging with these kinds of people, if I'm kind of figuring out who they are or trying to discover who they are or trying to back off from them, is watch out when you feel obligated to tell someone everything that you're doing. If you feel obligated to call someone up every time, once a day, to give them a rundown of what you're thinking, feeling, becoming, growing, how you're experiencing life, what you're going to this, doing that. Yes, it's a part of normal friendship to share, to track each other. I heard you went to counseling. How'd that go? Or da 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 da. It's good to track each other. That's healthy and friendly. But there is a type of toxic person that will use needling in order to take that information and use it against you, and what I would call, poke you with it. Find out your weaknesses. Find out what bothers you, and then later on use it in a manipulative way to control you. And what happens is, with these needling narcissists, is you begin to feel obligated to share things about yourself. And it's important to realize that you are a separate self, that you have your own boundaries, and you don't have to tell anyone everything. And it's probably better that you do not tell one person everything, unless it's your spouse or something like that. But what I'm saying is if you have a friend, like I have one friend today, in my healthy way, I have one friend that I'll talk about this with, and then I have another friend that I'll talk about this with, and another friend I'll talk about this with, but I spread it out instead of finding just one person that I'm so enmeshed with that I feel like I have to tell everything to. I had a friend once in my life who literally would needle me. What'd you eat? It's like, did you go to the bathroom? We're talking needling. And yeah, it got bad, but I didn't even notice it was happening, and it felt good. It felt good that someone cared. But just because someone is asking a bunch of questions about you does not mean that they care about you. It could mean that they're trying to gather intelligence about you so they can use it later and make you feel like crap because they enjoy it. They have fun doing that. So for this particular person, I remember I would tell her things, private things that were about me that maybe bothered me, about situations, or maybe, something I was maybe ashamed of, and I would tell her, and I really felt obligated to tell her things. I don't know, I just had this obligation that I had to tell someone everything about myself. And come to find out, at a later time, this person came up and brought up, like, I'm talking 2 years later. We hadn't spoken in a while because I had to cut that relationship off, but it started bringing up stuff that was bad that I didn't want to bring up, just out of the blue. And that's how you know you're dealing with somebody who is a needler, somebody who's asking you little questions. Do you have anybody like that in your life? Where'd you go? Who'd you go with? When'd you go? Why'd you go? Why do you need this information about me? It's like, hey, back off a little bit. Now, this is not normal sharing. I'm not talking about normal sharing your life with someone. I'm talking about someone who is needling. What are you doing? How'd you do that? Why'd you do that? When did you do that? Usually someone who is needling you will also take time to make fun of you. And there'll be some funny, like, ha ha ha, you're just you're just such an idiot, ha 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 ha. Yeah. And then all the while you're giving them all the information about yourself. This says little black tea. You're giving them all the information about yourself. Don't do that. Stop yourself. Zip your lip. Hang up the phone. Say, hey, I got to go. And remember, and just start to pay attention to how you feel in your heart, in your soul, in your body, how it feels in your body when someone is needling you. And when they do start needling you, then you just take a step back and say, I'm going to take a step back. Don't say it to them. Just, think, oh, I better take a step back. I don't know if all that information is necessary to share with one person. Again, I'm going to repeat myself one more time. This does not mean normal sharing. I'm talking when someone who is needling you, who knows every single thing about you from the time you wake up until you go to bed, and you feel a draw and a connection. You feel like you have to call them and tell them everything, every argument you had, every thought you have, every belief you have. And you have to in some cases, you feel like you have to run everything about yourself by this person to get their approval. Or, I thought this, should I feel that way? I don't know. And then they start asking questions, and then they start getting control of you, and they have control and the ability to make you feel bad using the information that they gain from you telling them. So don't be mad at yourself for doing this. If you've done this, stop it. Just make a note of it. Begin to journal about it. Begin to write down, wow, I don't know if this person is needling or not. I don't know if this person, you'll know if they're needling because they'll use it against you every time. I mean, not everything, but they'll always be using something against you. And you need to know how that feels so that you can know to stop it in the future. And stop the needling narcissist. That is none of their business. Nobody should have the whole pie. They get a little piece of your pie, not everything in your pie. Some of your pie needs to be kept behind your boundaries because you have to protect yourself, because some information is not for public consumption. Maybe one person can help you here, another can help you there. With your counselor and your life coach and things like that, I'm not talking about those professionals. I am talking about in everyday life when you're going out there, watch out for the needling narcissist and put a stop to it. That is my video for today. If you are interested in life coaching, we do have life coaching one-on-one as well as group, as well as a weekly call. You can email me at selfloveyouonline@gmail.com. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.